Joseph was 17 when his dreams began. He dreamed of the sun and moon bowing down before him, and of 11 stars kneeling in light. He woke with wonder, believing that maybe God was whispering something to his heart. But when he told his brothers, they laughed. Their eyes turned sharp and cold. The more he spoke about his dreams, the more distance grew between them. Joseph was young. He did not yet understand that sometimes God's promises are seeds that must fall into the ground before they bloom. One morning, his father called him. "Go see your brothers in the fields. Bring me news of them." Joseph smiled, wrapped his colorful robe around himself, and walked into the sunlight. From far away, he saw his brothers, but their hearts saw him as a shadow. They talked in whispers, and before he could speak, hands pulled him down, his robe torn away, his cries lost in the wind. He fell into a pit so deep that even his hope echoed. He called their names, but only silence answered. Later that day, he was lifted out. For a moment he thought they had forgiven him, but instead he saw silver coins and the faces of traders. He realized he was being sold. As the desert swallowed the horizon, Joseph looked back one last time. The brothers he loved were now only dust in the wind. His heart broke quietly, like glass under sand. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. Even as a slave, he worked with honesty and care. He carried no anger in his hands, for he believed God still watched him. The house of Potiphar grew prosperous, and Joseph was trusted with everything. But peace never stays long in the world of men. One false word, one lie, and Joseph was thrown into prison. The iron door closed with a sound that echoed like finality. Nights in the cell were long and quiet. Sometimes he spoke to the darkness, as if to an old friend. "If you are still with me, give me strength to wait." He cleaned floors, carried water, helped others, and each act became a prayer. He found purpose in patience and freedom inside faith. Years passed. One day Pharaoh dreamed a dream. No one could explain it, but a forgotten prisoner could. Joseph stood before the throne. He did not bow to power. He bowed to God in his heart and spoke with calm wisdom. The dream meant famine was coming, and Joseph advised Pharaoh to prepare. The king saw light in Joseph's eyes and made him ruler over the land. From pit to prison to palace, the boy who was sold became a savior. But even then, a small ache remained in his heart. The faces of his brothers, the memory of their laughter before betrayal. Years passed again, and famine spread across the lands. People came from every nation to buy grain from Egypt. Among them were 10 weary travelers from Canaan. They bowed before Joseph and did not know that the ruler before them was the brother they had sold. Joseph watched them in silence, his breath caught in his chest. His heart spoke louder than any voice. After all these years, here they were. He tested them, not to punish but to see if time had changed their hearts. When he saw his younger brother Benjamin, he could no longer hold back his tears. He left the room and wept. Memories flooded through him. The pit, the chains, the endless prayers. Later, he returned, and when he spoke, his voice trembled like the wind. "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" The brothers stood frozen, fear and disbelief in their eyes. But Joseph stepped closer. "Do not be afraid. You meant to harm me, but God turned it into good, to save many lives." His arms opened, and one by one, his brothers fell into them. Their tears mixed, and the room filled with the sound of forgiveness. That night, Joseph looked at the stars, the same stars from his boyhood dreams. He realized those dreams were never about his glory. They were about God's plan, a plan written through pain, but ending in peace. And so he whispered to the night sky, "Thank you for turning my wounds into grace." And so the story of Joseph reminds us that life does not always follow the path we plan. Sometimes we are thrown into pits of disappointment or sold into moments we do not understand. But even there, in the silence. God is working. He turns betrayal into purpose, pain into compassion, and waiting into wisdom. Joseph's forgiveness was not weakness. It was strength born from trust. He looked at his past and saw not cruelty, but the gentle fingerprints of God guiding him through every tear. When we choose to forgive, we are not saying what happened was right. We are saying that pain will not define us, that grace will. So tonight, as you rest your heart, remember Joseph's story and let your own wounds rest in the hands of God. The same God who was with Joseph in the pit is with you now in every quiet place and every waiting moment. May your heart find peace, and may your dreams be filled with gentle whispers of grace. Good night.